friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. For today's video, I'm going to be checking in with my monthly budget. In a previous video, I sat down and went over all of our expenses for the week. If you missed that video, go back and check it out. I talked through absolutely everything we spent. As you can see, it was a lot this week. It was a very big spending week for us. We had a lot of bills that came out. We had some eating out, some grocery spending, and then we had a little bit of a family emergency this week where my son was injured during a soccer game. We ended up in the emergency room, and that affected our spending this week. He's fine, by the way. I know you guys are going to worry and ask. He has a sprained ankle. It was not as severe as we originally thought, thank God. But he's going to be off of his feet for a couple of weeks. And that definitely played a part in our budget this week. So lots and lots of spending. I've already categorized everything and added it up. And now I'm going to use this information to update my budget for the week. If you've never seen one of my videos, hi, I'm Jessie. This is how I budget. I sit down every week, I write down everything we spent, I categorize everything, and then I plug it in to my monthly budget, which I do here on a 2-page layout. This is where I keep track of all of my budget numbers. This is my monthly budget, and then I check in each week using these weekly sections. There's also a place here to track sinking funds, which I have not yet done for July, any extra savings, any extra debt payments. It's an all-encompassing budgeting system that I do have available both on my Etsy shop as a printable download, which I will link below. You can also get my budget worksheets at a discount if you join my channel membership at the various budgeting tiers. All of that information is going to be down below in the description box. I don't want this video to get too long, so I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can leave them below. I'd be happy to answer them. For now, let's just start filling in my budget. So we're going to be adding some things to this monthly section. I have some actual numbers to put in here, and then we're also going to be utilizing this week 2 section here to track all of my variable spending. Starting out with the one-time things. So over here in this monthly section, I list out everything that is a one-time bill or expense here. I get the budgeted amount, and then I write in the actual amount as the bills are paid throughout the week. And then for the variable categories, I have my overall budget, but I can't fill in the actual amount until the very end of the month, because these are things that we, these line items, this money is spent slowly throughout the month. It's more than just a one-time transaction. So I track those here just to keep track of what I've spent, what's remaining, how we're doing overall for the month. But the one-time things I can fill in now. And the one-time things are all of these bills. So everything highlighted in this bright blue color here. You can see I've got the budgeted amounts here. These are the actual amounts that we're going to plug in, starting with my Sleep Number bed. The amount that I paid, as you can see here, is $300. Hopefully you can see that. And if I go here, I just find it on the list, Sleep Number, I budgeted $300, and that is what I paid. So that's good news. We always like it when we come in right where we should, right? Okay, so then we've got car insurance. For car insurance, I spent $590.34. If I scroll through here, car insurance, I budgeted $600. We spent $590.34, so we came in under budget there as well. With my bills, I pretty much always come in either under budget or right on the money. I like to build in a little bit of a buffer with my budget by budgeting these numbers a little bit high. That's just a tip for you if you're writing out your budget. Always estimate what your bills are going to be a little bit high. That way, if they come in a little bit higher than you expect, you're covered. And if not, then you have a buffer in case you overspend in some of your variable categories. That's what I do. It works out really well. All right, Michigan gas, we paid $43. Michigan gas is right here on my budget. We budgeted $45. So once again, under budget, good to go there. My camper payment came out $200, which is just as expected, $200. And you guys, I'm realizing I wrote my golf cart in here on the 10th for $150, but I've already written that down as paid. So I don't know if I just wrote it down twice or if I accidentally paid it twice. I need to go in and double check. Give me just a second. Okay, so phew, no harm, no foul. I wrote it down on this week, but it was actually paid at the end of last week. I just got my dates confused, which happens sometimes, so I did not pay it twice. I just wrote it down twice. That was already paid. And so this amount that I figured out when I did our expense tracking is a little bit high because that $150 came out last week, not this week. No harm done. All right, so that is all of the bills. Now let's talk about the variable categories. And I think I can zoom you guys in a little bit for this, can't I? I think so. So the dates we're talking about here are the 9th through the 15th. And the categories that we're going to track are grocery, eating out, spending, and auto pay. Okay, and this is easy peasy. I just need to look down at my totals. So throughout the week, I grocery shopped, you can see in pink here, 1, 2, 3 different times. There were 3 transactions. I've already done, nope, there's 4 transactions there, Jessie. I swear I can count, you guys. 4 different transactions. I've already done the hard work and done the math and added them up here. The amount we spent overall for this week was $342.89, which is a lot. I said in that expense tracking video that we actually shopped a little bit ahead. So this grocery transaction at the end of the week is actually for next week's groceries. So hopefully we'll spend less next week because of that. We'll see. But yeah, we spent quite a bit there in groceries. Sorry, you guys can hear that squeaky door. My son's bedroom door desperately needs to be oiled and he just came out of his room. So apologies for that. Eating out, we spent a lot too at $96.41. For spending, we spent $152.97. And for auto pay, $38.81. Was a pretty heavy spending week. We spent a total in these variable categories of $631.08. All right, so that's what we spent. We're done with this expense tracker. I can put this away. Let's talk about what is remaining of our budget and what we have to work with moving forward through the week. So if we look back here, for groceries, we started out the month with a $1,200 budget. At the end of last week, we had $1,146.19 remaining. So that was really great. Lots of money to work with. This week, we spent $342.89, which leaves us a remaining balance of $803.30. Now what I like to do is divide the amount we have remaining by the number of weeks left in the month. For July, there's 2 weeks left, so we divide that by 2. Means we can spend about $401 each week and still come in under budget. So we're in really good shape with groceries. We did a lower grocery shopping situation in week 1, a little bit higher in week 2, but still not terrible. So we're set up pretty well for the next couple of weeks, provided that nothing catastrophic happens. So that feels really, really good. I'm happy about that. For eating out, we slashed our budget this month and gave ourselves $200. The end of last week, we had $170.14 of that remaining. This week was a higher spending week for sure. We ended up in the emergency room and getting dinner from Wendy's that night. That played a part. We also just ate out more this past week, so not great. We got $73.73 remaining, which is not a whole lot, especially if we divide that by the 2 weeks left. We gotta spend $36.80. Oop, that did not focus. My apologies if this has been out of focus this whole time, you guys. You would think after 10 years on YouTube, I would know what I was doing by now, but I still have issues with filming. My apologies. We get $36.86 a week for the next 2 weeks. So might be tough. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. It could go either way with that. For spending, we started out with $500 at the beginning of the month. At the end of last week, we still had $472.24 remaining. We spent $152.97, which means we've got $319.27 remaining. Writing against these discs is tough. If I was smart, I would pull this out so I didn't have to write against the discs, but we're almost done now, so we're just gonna go with it. If we divide that by the 2 weeks left, we could spend about $159 each week and still come in under budget, so we are in good shape there as well. Although Amazon Prime week is happening next week and there is some stuff I want to get, so we'll see. We'll see if I can stick to that $159. It'll be tough. And then for auto pay, we started out with $300. At the end of last week, we had $249.07 remaining. We spent $38.81 of those dollars, which means we've got $210.26 remaining. I don't need to divide that up by the next 2 weeks because the bills for auto pay are not dispersed evenly. I think we just have a couple for week 3 and then a bunch at the end of the month for week 4. So I don't need to get like an average of what we can spend for the 2 weeks. Autopay works differently than these other categories. I just lump it in here because it makes it easy to keep track of all of our little autopay transactions without having to put like 12 different line items here in our budget. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, let's get a total for what we have remaining. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, I like to get a total because while I like categorizing everything and separating everything out, if I come in over budget in one category, like if we overspend in groceries, but we underspend in eating out or vice versa or whatever, if there's anything remaining at the end of the month, overall, that means we came in under budget and variable, and that makes me happy. So even if the one category or another is over budget, if I come in under budget overall, it's still a win. So we have $1406.56 remaining for the next 2 weeks. If we divide that by the next 2 weeks, that's $700 each week, which is less than we spent this week. It's less than we spent, nope, it's more than we spent this week. It's more by a lot than we spent in week 1. So if we continue on this trajectory, we should come in under budget overall, but we'll see. Like I said, Amazon Prime week is coming up, and that always leads me to spend a little bit more. Next year, I think I'm going to start a sinking fund for Amazon Prime week or for shopping in general, just for when I get the itch to shop, because I am a shopping addict. If you didn't know, and I don't say that lightly, like I really am addicted to shopping. It's very difficult for me not to shop. But if I budget for it, then it's better, right? Okay, enough rambling. This video's gone on long enough. I think we're in good shape for the month overall, even though I'm a little worried about our eating out. When I set our eating out budget at the beginning of the month, I knew it was going to be really tough to stick to that. And so far it has been. We've spent more than half our budget, even though we're only halfway through the month. So that does not bode well, but hopefully we can rein it in over the next 2 weeks, knowing that we've overdone it a little in the first couple of weeks, and we can, you know, stick to this budget. It's going to be really tough, but it's really important to me. Like, the less I spend in eating out, the less I spend in groceries, the more money I can put towards our goals. And isn't that the point of budgeting after all? So we'll see how it goes. Thank you for checking in with me today. Knowing you guys are here, looking forward to these videos, watching me, really helps me keep accountable. It'd be so easy to just keep all of these numbers to myself, overspend, and only have myself to answer to. But I'm the type of person, if I know someone's counting on me, I'm more likely to stick to the plan. And so thank you for being my accountability. It means a lot to me, as does your support here on my channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you guys real soon for another video. Bye-bye.